I read these comments, and I have mentioned this even before. This comment is by someone who is in a full support to the so-called Israeli state. He could be a so-called Hindu in India. He could be a so-called Christian in Europe or in the West, or even in the Middle East, stupid Middle Eastern. Or he could be a Goyim with a so-called Israeli state passport. Or he could be a Goyim who say that his ancestors are Jews and he's manipulating the corrupted Bible even more. A book called Bible. I just want to say something about the virus, the so-called Israeli virus. He wrote the following statement. He said the only democracy in the Middle East. Are we dealing with a world filled with fools? God. I don't want to turn back to my accommodation. Enjoy. Toxic people are there. So I will be toxic to you. But with the truth. Nothing except the truth. Now who's the real toxics dealing with healing process? Huh? You tell me. So he's saying the only democracy in the Middle East. The answer is very short. You stupid, idiot, pathetic, ignorant, arrogant. You are walking there. See, I have no place to upload video. No, there is, but toxic. Bismillah. Yeah. They're looking at me. What can I do? Acting like if I'm talking to someone on the telephone, so that they wouldn't think that I'm crazy. I'll keep this secret between me and you, darling. So the issue here is why in Middle East there is countries and government is filled with dictatorship there in Middle East. Why? And why the so-called Israeli, so-called Goyim Jewish state is democracy? Yes, there is children being killed. There is people who are losing their houses. They're hiding this with some sort of humanitarian... because it's a Western project. A sequence of a colonizing power to control illegally before in the past, last century, in Middle East, and created this terrible occupation. So this democracy did not create itself. Did it create itself? No, it didn't create itself. لم تنبثق من نفسها بل انبثقت من تدخل خارجي غير شرعي. This is Arabic. I don't know how to translate it. So, the external powers created this illegal virus. If you look from outside and you are idiot, pathetic, ignorant, arrogant, or maybe you know everything, it's just you're a Satan slave and a demon. Not worth to be called a human being. This is another story. So arrogant, satanically demon attitude. Do you get the point? Good. Let's dance. So-called Israeli state. If you look from outside and you don't want to see the truth, or you don't want to say the truth, or you couldn't see the truth, you will find a democratic system. Elite, the Knesset, Prime Minister, Every few years, a new prime minister. Human Rights Watch. Also, weapon coming from America. A lot of budget coming from America. Money, the Holocaust reimbursement, or so-called Holocaust, whatever. And all this support, the so-called Christian, God gave Jews a holy land. And people who are... So there is external thing. Others there and there who have an issue with all population or call itself Muslim because it can... For their own reason in India, for their own reason in China, regardless. I'm not going to mention native Indian there, the native Eastern Turkestanis, Uyghurs, not to mention the Rohingya. Everyone find that this so-called Israelis, even those who call themselves Shiite, they, at the time of Ali Khomeini, and think they are more than, do they want the so-called Israeli state to finish? And the Muslim Sunni take it again? No. The normal Muslims? No. The so-called Israeli state is part of a series of change that took place in Middle East, creating an atmosphere to the so-called Shiite to impose their version of Islam when Islam was not defeated, attacked, and the word defeated is not in place, but you cannot defeat it unless if God take it out. It will rise. No, this is another religious thing that these people who are not godly do not understand. Islam is becoming weak. If there is any sort of reaction, terrorist problem, if there is a lot of bad Muslims and sequences, Muslim attacking, have nothing to do with Islam itself. You're the one who's creating these problems. So what I'm trying to say is the so-called Israeli state do not create itself. That's okay. I'm going to jump to the second point because I'm taking a long time here. How can we identify the so-called Israeli state as a virus? The so-called Israeli state is a virus. It is a virus within this series of change in Middle East. Okay? You can go to Michel Aflaq, before Michel Aflaq, Jamal Abdel Nasser, with due my respect to the party, or Arabic, Al-Uruba, Al-Ba'th, communism, because خلاص, there is some sort of defeat to the Islamic Khilafah. Muslim Khilafah is a racist Khilafah. It's not good, the Ottomanic. I have previous videos about President Erdogan. Not take Arabs, and those nationalists who took it from the Ottomanic themselves. And the Ottomanic took it from the European, and things happen worldwide. Look at Japan and China, westernizing Japan, the oil, World War II, Russia with Japan, Japan occupying China. There is a lot of things that took place all over the world that made a shape, like Noah and the Ark. There is a flood, and there is a new shape of the maps. That's it. There is a change. Now that's from God. This reformation is by the devil, okay? Through the choice of human, and they now understand. Now this is another topic. It's a virus. Trust me, if you go and ask the doctors about these viruses, the doctor would say to you, if you know how the virus work, you would be shocked. Especially if you're new to understanding how viruses work. Viruses organize itself, do all sorts of organizing. Organize this, do that, provide another copies, find a good environment, affect the cells, destroy the protection in the body. So you just look at the human being, and the human being is like this. Yo, sir, what do you want? For example, yeah. What's happening to you? I have this sort of disease. And he's not working properly. And he's trying, maybe start fighting you. And maybe start crashing himself. And there is things in his body. And the virus is very organized. Now, if you're stupid, you would say, God, the only thing occupied, the only thing organized in this body is the virus. Look how the heart is working. And the heart is... So there is different in the... Look at the brain, how it's working. The heat, the problem, the nerve system. Look at the whole nerve system. Look at his his breathing. Problem was his breathing. Look how the kidney, look how the liver is working. Man, the only organized thing in this body is the virus. Look at the body. Exactly. This is the so-called Israeli state virus. Okay? Go. If you don't want to listen more. Because you want to be stupid. Go. Okay? Go. No, you want to... Okay. You want knowledge. Good, good, good. You don't want to go to hellfire. So the virus is working in a perfect way. Okay? Attacking here. Controlling here. Within it, you will be amazed how it's working and doing all sorts of prosperity based on your stupid, ignorant, negative thinking. Take care. Have a lovely evening. Take care. Find something, somewhere safe to sleep. Take care. Good. Look. This is a very nice gentleman. Very nice gentleman. Do you see him? Now this is another topic, but what can I do? It's in the video. Look. He's a European guy. British, look. Do he have an accommodation? No. Why? Go ask him. Well, I'm not like him. I want the place good. As long as I'm offered this, I don't care. It's either you are a normal human being, so you're not bad. No, I'm not bad. I'm good. You're not bad. You're good. Then you're sick. You should be in a mental hospital. This is the case with the guys I'm dealing with. They're not bad. Let's hope. They're not bad. Let's hope. So they're not bad. So I'm not accusing them of being bad. No, they deserve to be in a mental hospital. So I'm not saying these gentlemen. Yeah. I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them because I used to deal with this gentleman for years. Yes, I keep distance, of course, for my own reason, with due my great respect to him. Let me return back to the topic. So the so-called Israeli state is a virus. The virus, for those who are looking to things by the eyes of the Dajjal, will think that the virus is doing a great job. Let me mention this word. Positive thing, negative. They don't see the big picture. And they look at Syria. Look at Syria, man. Look how killing Muslims are doing this to each other. Look at Iraq. Look at Saudi Arabia. Look at Mecca and Medina. Look at Egypt. Look at Sisi. Look Rabah. Look what's happening in Libya. It's because of you. If there is no so-called Israeli state, 95% of the rubbish that we're dealing with wouldn't happen, because it's not the virus itself. It's an external Gog Magog. It's an This is not a. If there is no interference in Middle East, and there is no colonizing power coming with the Antichrist figure, the cross, and Satan's son, Jesus, or Yeshua, you call him whatever you want. This filth, this taghotic filth, which I talk to him as well, not only you. And I spit in his face. If there was no cross and colonizing area, you fuck off. The pig of earth, with all what happened worldwide. If there was no colonizing area, I'm sorry for him. I'm sorry for him. Not only him, there's others as well. I know two others. Two who I feel sorry for them. There's others who are on the street, I don't care about them. Not because crime they commit, no, it's just... أتمنى له أيام جميلة سلامة من طرقات سلامة إن شاء الله. هذا الشخص اللي أنا بقوله. Of course he's a so-called Christian and believe in Jesus, definitely. This one is atheist. Interference from outside. How did, if there is no attack, if the Uthmanic Khilafah fought in a new reformation, some sort of new reformation that represented by the people of the land, came, okay, the Khilafah here is falling, we have a new something with our Asian Muslim brothers, with the Turks, with those, the Turkish there is a problem here happening there. It's no longer Khilafah. Like Amawi, Abbasi, let's do a light reformation. We have the constitution of God. If we were left alone, there wouldn't be a nationalist Arabs. There is لا للرجعية. No to الله يرحم كل أموات المسلمين. No عند أمرهم عند الله. All these leaders, even Saddam Hussein is a wonderful result, not like Hafez and his son. No, a wonderful result, Saddam Hussein. Perfect, a man of his word, a man of his principle, not like the others. Not like the others. I don't care. This is the fact. Dictator, what he's hanged. And his both children are dead. Now we are saying Erdogan is a great president. Erdogan. This is a fact. No, I'm not like those. Oh, they hate their leaders or they hate someone. If he's dead, they start crying. Fuck off. No, that's true. Erdogan is there. He should be protected. Yeah. For the whole region and the peace of the world. No, the good option. Made him a good figure. Leave the man alone. Look at the so-called Israeli state. Look at the trying to overthrow Erdogan, to bring a military power in Turkey. The so-called Israeli state. What? The virus. What do you think? Tell me. The man is giving them tanazulat. He's, okay, bring the president of the so-called Israel. It's fine. I want to be protected, man. This is Turkey. You see what happened to Saddam Hussein? Muammar always having issue with this occupation, though he's an Israelite. Him and Saddam Hussein are Israelis in your Gohima. Gohima. It is Jew because he didn't change the Bible. The Bible and those so-called themselves Shiite took advantage with Ali Khomeini, تصدير الثورة, distributing the revolution. Hey man, distribute it in Bergia itself and drop dead. Yeah, go to Asia. Fuck off. Distribute it to the... Why? Leave Baluchistan, leave Ahwazistan, leave Kurdistan. You do not have nothing to do with Islam. Your corrupted version of the so-called Islam is not... وين اروح؟ لا حول ولا قوة الا بالله. Not inside. So so these people, we need to explain to them. There is a lot of Muslims as well, unfortunately. Are they Muslims? Okay, stupid. Look at the so-called, look at Ramallah and look at Tel Aviv. Look at Gaza, look at Gaza in the map. Yeah? And look at Tel Aviv, Tel Al-Rabi'. 200 miles between Tel Aviv and go to Hama. Go to Fallujah. How many miles? This is it. We're civilized. Virus. So-called Israeli state virus. Incubation. Dark. Filth. I mean, I don't find a big difference between the so-called Shiite and the so-called Israelis. But because the so-called Israelis are related to the West and at ties that until now not weak, because the so-called Israeli state depend on the West. But once the so-called Israeli state do not depend on the West who is a result of a huge waves that changed him to a humanitarian attitude after World War II, Industrial Revolution, civil wars and things like that. This is, to a certain level, a mature result. If a new power, like China for example, the so-called Israelis start depending on them and there is things under ties, then the so-called Israeli state will be worse than the Syrian regime, if they can. And you can see the sign. So they are not good because they are good. No, They would be like the so-called Shiite, and look what they did. The so-called Shiite, they depend on Russia. They depend on China. The Chinese people and the Russian people, to a certain level, I'm not gonna say don't give a fuck about human rights, but they are not mature enough. They affect other countries. The racial discrimination within the attitude of their society is far more bigger than the Western. The Western are a result of something, and this allowed them to attack. This made them look at the West. Everyone is saying West, human rights, West, human rights. Even these people who are saying it for the wrong reason in our media. I went to the West. God, they are civilized. Yes, there is a civilized people, of course, but you don't use this to impose things on my... See, it's a very that's complicated, but there is a lot of points. Do you understand the point? So it's a virus. The virus, you need to understand how the virus works. You just don't come and say in 2020 or 2022, it is the only democratic system in Middle East. Look how human rights are working, LGBT, and still, you, so-called Israeli state, kicking people from... It's a freak virus project. And the so-called Shiite are taking advantage. What? Come on, man. What? Yes, they are. Could you believe, yes you would, that if I upload this video, now I didn't mention anything about the government in Gulf states. Wallahi, if I just upload this video in the country called Saudi Arabia, imagine I'm uploading it, within less than 24 hours, if they know where I am. What 24 hours? Yes, I'll say 24 hours. I'm not gonna exaggerate to 2 hours. No, it didn't reach this one. 24, I'm arrested. For what? For this video. Did I say anything? What are you gonna see? Say. What is the big picture you're seeing? Oh, do you see the Muslim country? Then why are you here in England? Why are you here in the West? Yes, of course. Yes, Habibi. Habibi, yeah? Talking to you on the telephone. Yes. 25 minutes I'll be there. Less than 25 minutes. I'm not sure. I'm waiting for him to call me.
I'm not laughing at you, Sonny. Keep walking.
I know him. The problem is I know him. Well, everything's fine. Because he would expect me to say, hi, brother, but I was looking like this. Assalamu alaikum. It's finished with a comedy. So there is no need even to delete it. Please remember, it's the West. It's YouTube in the West. Freedom of speak. Mice?
Martha!
There's a small mice here. You're very respected in comparison to so many of those who are called human. Enjoy your life. Just keep away from me. Because there is others who are called human. Stink more than you. It's a bad smell, you know what I'm saying? I smell a rat. لا مقصود أحد والله.